Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Welcome back to Challenger Spectates, and today we are actually going to be watching a more known player. It is Froggen. So many people know Froggen is a, well, you could probably say ex-pro now, but something interesting has happened, and I was told, because I mentioned on stream a few days ago that I was like, I'm going to do a Challenger Spectates, and I want to watch Froggen because I've always liked him as a player. And I was like, oh, what account does he play on EU? And then people were like, he plays on North America now, like he may have gone back. Or he's moved back or something. So if he's back on North America, there has to be a reason for it. So maybe he's got an offer. He's going to be joining a team. So that's pretty cool. This is currently sitting in... Again, I know the series is called Spectating Challenges. There are Challenger players in this game. But Froggen himself is Master. Again, he's only been playing on this account for a few days. So I think it's okay to call him a Challenger player, considering he is normally, and he's only back on North America for a few days. By the time this video comes out, he probably is back in Challenger. But he's playing Ahri, and the reason why I chose this one was for two reasons. One, I'm interested in Ahri, because I don't really see much of her anymore. Secondly, it's against an AP Cho'Gath in this rating, like a Challenger Master game. I think AP Cho'Gath is utter trash, so I actually want to see if the Cho'Gath can do anything to Froggen. Because if I had to guess, I'd probably say no. But maybe I'm wrong. So, team comps, it is a Pantheon versus Jarvan, Camille versus Trundle, Ahri versus Cho'Gath, Zyra and Rakan versus Varus and a Alistair. So, obviously, one of the advantages that Cho'Gath will have in the early lane phase is pushing power and sustain, you could argue, because Cho'Gath's passive means he regens whenever he gets a kill on a minion. And obviously, he's going to be taking E level 1 to simply push it in, do a bit of extra damage to Froggen as well. And boom, wallop, knock up. But yeah, so again, when you want to take good Ahri, what I'm looking for, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, Ahri has been something that I've been considering, do I pick up, because I want to make a bigger impact on the map. So what I'm looking for is roaming. Like, how much does Froggen roam, if at all? Does he help his jungler invade? Does he go bot lane? That's what I'm interested in this game. So far, this Cho'Gath has been pretty spot on landing those knock-ups, so that's not good by Froggen getting hit by those, to be honest. Junglers might end up fighting, or a gank is going to come by. Obviously, this person, Chris, is also another knock-up, is also another fairly well-known player from my knowledge. Potentially used to play pro play. Nice. Like, really bad by Cho'Gath, honestly. But really nice by Camille, basically just walking away, faking out, and actually just jumping on the Cho'Gath, because I guess he thought Camille wasn't going to do anything. So had to blow his flash. That gives definite lane advantage to Froggen. He could go for a flash, charm, ignite all-in play, and potentially kill him. You know, maybe. So all minions are quite low. Farm a little bit ahead, but by the time the Cho'Gath gets a chunk of that, it might be relatively close. So I'd want to see pressuring to make sure he doesn't get it. But again, maybe not, because then you've got to worry, is the enemy jungler going to be there to kind of punish you for trying to punish the person under tower? Throws a ward over here. Again, I like this ward specifically because, like, if you got a ward just in this bush, it actually doesn't give you vision if they go up here and back. So I like this one because it does both. But yeah, just using Q just to wave clear, I guess. Nothing crazy in the early game. Froggen is building himself a CS lead, though. He's got, you know, 8 minions up right now. If he gets all 3 of those, he's still going to be 6 minions ahead, which is a whole minion wave. Only 4 minutes into the game. And potentially that's how he's going to get his gold lead, is just by farming. Another knock-up. But yeah, remember, the Cho'Gath doesn't have flash anymore, so I want to see if he actually will go anything. We see Trundle down there on the mini-map. Let's see, another knock-up. Damn, either this guy just knows, obviously, I do think it's a Cho'Gath AP1 trick, by the way. But either this guy just knows how to land this Q fantastic, or Froggen's just having a very bad time dodging it. Because he's literally, every single one he's gone for, he's pretty much landed. Top lane gank, Jarvan does survive, doesn't even have to blow flash. Trundle you can see in river, or in bot lane, and you'll be able to see him here probably in a second, or he's waiting in there. Return to mid lane. Minion wave is just going to be standing in the mid. Cho'Gath potentially going to try and stop the base, maybe? No, he doesn't try to stop the base. Lets him go back. Froggen's going to buy. Doesn't. He declines going back. Now, the enemy team is on, or this team is onto something. They saw Trundle go here. They had, at the time, Scuttle Crab here, so they don't know where the Trundle is. So they're half thinking, is Trundle doing wolves? And that is potentially why Froggen didn't go back and buy, because he thought, hey, they're pinging that Trundle maybe is in our jungle. Obviously, both mid laners take an ignite. Which I don't know. I don't know if I'd take Ignite on Cho'Gath. Because the likelihood of getting onto somebody is probably quite low. So potentially teleport would be better. Looking for an engage here. Forcing the Varus flash. Froggen going back now. First buy gonna be... He sells a health potion. Probably for a corrupting. No. Wow. Okay, so in that situation, he sold his only health potion to actually get to that lost chapter. It's that important for him to get to that lost chapter, apparently. Camille does a nice trade on the Trundle, and then also First Blood comes down. Obviously, if a Pantheon loses lane, it's a very bad situation, because that's basically the only thing a Pantheon is good at, is winning lane, especially if you're taking Ignite and your opponent is taking Teleport. You're taking Electrocute. Oh, no, he's taking Aftershock. Okay, that's a new one. Aftershock Pantheon top lane with Ignite. No idea. All right, trading happening in here. Froggen's going to make his way, potentially going to pick himself up a kill. Alistair, of all people, is in mid lane. Froggen gets knocked out by the Cho'Gath, and I imagine this is a dead Froggen. Wow. Again, very random that there's just an Alistair there. That's something that I would not predict, and I don't think you can predict. Jarvan potentially going to ult directly on the Camille. Pantheon is in the area, but a level down. He ends up being there. Camille actually was continuing the fight. Pantheon doesn't get the knock-up, but he might get away. Again, there's still that Alistair. Again, that is actually a name that I recognize, but you can see a 4-man in the top lane at 6 minutes into the game. That is really bizarre. And like I mentioned, I think last episode, the roaming on North America seems to be more than EU West. So that's just a slight, you know, that doesn't mean better or worse. That just means there's a slight play difference, play style difference. And obviously for that, Varus actually got dove and killed. So obviously there is negatives to it. But yeah, Froggen dies. That gives Cho'Gath 2 kills. But like I was saying, that is actually somebody that I recognize over here, Alicopter. Cutie Pie used to duo queue with him. And then if I'm not mistaken, again, I could be wrong, so maybe someone can confirm. I'm pretty sure the guy got like a 14-day ban for being toxic, because apparently he is quite a toxic person. But he always seemed to be not toxic, because when he was duo queuing with Cutie Pie, he knew a lot of people was watching. So he probably he was like not going to be toxic, because that would just be stupid to be toxic when that many people are watching you. But apparently when he wasn't duo queuing with Cutie, he was being really toxic, and he got a ban, and then Cutie just stopped doing with him at that point, because it's not smart duoing with somebody that's been banned and stuff. It's bad for your brand and your image, and probably Riot doesn't really like it either. Obviously that's the least important thing as a content creator. But like for example, if I ever did duo queue, would I ever duo queue with somebody that got bans? No, I just wouldn't. Why take the risk? Alright, so returning to the mid lane, Froggen still does have a farm advantage. He is pushing in as much as he can because he has no vision on the Cho'Gath right now. So the easiest way to make sure Cho'Gath comes back to mid lane if he's roaming is to just push the wave. And then that will allow him, or force him to come back, really. So the Cho'Gath buys another Doran's Ring and and a Lost Chapter. Also has got a health potion and boots. So quite a significant more amount of items than Froggen's got. The gold difference in mid lane is about 400 gold, so, you know, that's a little bit. That's a Doran's Ring bonus gold, because Froggen is holding 700 gold on his person right now. But so far, again, I haven't really seen much to punish the Cho'Gath. Again, that was that one gank, the early gank that the Camille did, that they got his flash, and then nothing since. To me, that's a bit surprising, because you have to remember he's a melee champion. Like, I'd like to see maybe a bit more harass. Like, I know he's got his passive, but surely your harass would out damage his passive, I would think. Froggen gets knocked up. He gets double knocked up. The Cho'Gath, by the looks of it, wasn't even bothered going for that play, so they just get Froggen's ultimate basically for free. I'd be very careful if Froggen uses one more ultimate, then the Cho'Gath will go for the play. Meanwhile, in bot lane, they do actually double kill, and that is the classic Pantheon play. Basically, lose lane, win game, because Pantheons, like Rengar top laners, don't care about their lane phase. They're all about using their ult around the map. And basically 100% of the time where a Pantheon is going to go is bot lane. Because I've said it before, when you're ulting as a Pantheon, you want as many targets possible to actually do something. Well, there's always 2 people in bot lane that you potentially could kill. If you ult mid lane, well, there's only 1. You're doubling your chances of doing something by just going bot lane. So that's why they always go bot. Same with the Rengar, same with the Pantheon. It's basically the same with all roaming top laners. Or even roaming mid laners. A lot of the time, bot lane is just the better lane to go. Again, Alistair in mid lane again. It's a bit weird seeing roaming this early. But I guess it's because now, like, again, he was roaming before, but I guess he's roaming now because his Varus is just having the lane back here. Surprised, actually, the Varus didn't freeze that, to be honest. But, oh well. Froggen is a bit scared by the looks of it, gets knocked up. Does manage to get his Q off so he doesn't miss the minions. Cho'Gath probably looking for a flash ignite all-in play. Rakan getting a bit caught out by the enemy Trundle. He should be fine, I would imagine. There's a blasting plant right there. Varus flashes for that. Meanwhile, in mid lane, no, where? Meanwhile, in our jungle, they do kill the Camille. Cho'Gath uses Ignite and his Feast, but the Alistar himself got the kill. But yeah, they got Varus Flash and Ultimate for nothing. Well, for nothing. Rakan didn't use any subs, he didn't have them up. So far, bit of an odd game. You know, it's pretty even on gold. The kills are relatively even, but there does seem to be a few mistakes happening. She flashes early, gives the escape route for the Rakan, and they just get out of there. That will give the dragon probably for the enemy team. Froggen's returning to mid lane, just farming. And that's probably going to be it for now. Again, if I was like this team over here, the red team, part of me would want to get to late game and part of me wouldn't. What would want me to get to late game is I do think majority of the red team is more useful in late game than their opponents. Ahri should be more useful than a Cho'Gath. Camille should actually do more than a Trundle in late game. Xayah Rakan, I'd say, is more useful on average than a Varus Alistar. The only caveat to that is top lane. Is that I would be worried that will a Pantheon be managing to do anything because he's losing lane and also he doesn't scale. So that's my only concern at the moment. Other than that, I don't think it's that bad. And again, if you guys watched last challenge, right, Spectates, you can make comebacks. Last challenger at Spectates is that they lost those towers, they lost that there, they lost that there, and they turned and won the game. So it's possible, especially when you've got a better team comp and you play to the advantage of that team comp. There you go. So Camille's nearby. They might go for a play on this Cho'Gath. Again, the weird thing about AP Cho'Gath is he shouldn't do that much moving to late game, but even though he's AP, he does actually get fairly beefy, like tanky. He can tank quite a lot for being AP. So it is a kind of a hassle because also just the amount of health that champion builds. Right, play happening on the Trundle. Probably a free kill happening. He's just completely locked down. Froggen will use his ultimate, which is a bit surprising to me. Froggen goes straight into the Cho'Gath. Nothing else happens. They steal the red buff. And that's going to be it. Camille actually finds a Varus over the wall. Unfortunately, that doesn't knock it up. Xayah nearby, walking straight into the Cho'Gath. Hopefully the root comes on. That was a weird Cho'Gath play. Flashes, also Feast, doesn't get a kill. Jarvan jumping in. Froggen's making his way back. Jarvan does get one kill. Probably going to try and make his way out of there. Flash being followed up by both. Misses the charm, which isn't good. It doesn't probably get away from this situation. Froggen might even get the kill. Doesn't. Kyrus gets it. But obviously Froggen had the Ignite running. So that's a nice comeback play. That puts the gold advantage over to the red team. Makes the kills even. Honestly, again, for this episode, we are focusing on Froggen. He didn't do a whole lot there. So I would want to see him getting involved a little bit more than that situation. I think he thought like, oh, okay, you got that one pick on Trundle, you got his red buff, okay, we're leaving. Where instead of leaving, they went for that aggressive play like flashing over here to try and kill the Varus. So I guess that's what kind of happened. Alright, so continuing the push, farm lead is okay in mid lane. Just gold difference though of these two specifically, 4-7, 4-3, so it's still that 400 gold. That hasn't changed at all basically in mid lane. Biggest gold lead at the moment most likely is in the AD carries, so 3-7 to 5-2. Very big difference between the AD carries. So again, like I've said to you, I don't know how this game goes, but if this is a game that Froggen has to be Robin, not Batman, has to be the sidekick to the Xayah, that's fine. It will still happen in Challenger games, that type of situation. And also that definitely goes for a Pantheon. If you're a Pantheon, you're having a rough lane phase, please, please, please don't think you need to keep carrying. Stand next to your AD carry and just help CCing people that can kill your AD carry. That's a very effective way and a good way to help win a game. Anyway, 4 people again. So like I mentioned, roaming seems to be a very popular thing. 4v3 situation now. Xayah obviously is the main target. Camille does get out really nice there. They might do something. Froggen is on his way. He might be able to pick up a couple of kills. Does have his ultimate up, so we'll see if he can get anything. Maybe. He does actually decide against going for an ultimate play there. Very good survival, but again, a 4v3 top lane. Again, I've said it before. Roaming is good, but sometimes, like, if let's say this guy, the helicopter Alistar player, I have seen this guy quite a bit. He roams all the time. if you roam so much, and especially when you're in Challenger and you play against the same people all the time, do you know what happens? You actually become predictable with your roaming. Like, it's not a surprise that it's like, oh, he's top player. It's like, well, that's what he does every game. Like, I watched a video not that long ago. One of the challenge YouTubers might be Double Lift. He made a joke that one of the junglers of North America, every single time, 10 minutes into the game, he does Rift Herald. And like, it was a Double Lift video, and literally at 10 minutes, they go look over at the Rift Herald, and lo and behold, that jungler is doing Rift Herald. He's like, see, every game. Again, if you're doing the same thing and you're playing with the same people, you're just going to become predictable. And that's like, it's a difference of like the Challenger environment to like the rest of solo queue. Like, in Diamond, I meet the same people every now and then, but even that, it's a little bit rare. Maybe like 1 in 20 games, I'll meet the same person once or twice. In Challenger, well, if you're all queuing up at the same time and you're playing like 10 games a day, well, probably half of those are playing with the same people all the time. So if those people just doing the same things, well, you just know those players. You get to learn what they do. So for the average person watching this video, that doesn't really affect you because you're never really going to be meeting the same people. But the higher rating you go, that is definitely a thing that you become predictable if you are somebody that does the same thing. If you are somebody that, oh, I roam all the time, okay, that's the guy that roams all the time. If you're just climbing and you're meeting new people every game, well, they're not going to know who you are. So, worth noting. So Froggen gets himself on the board with 1 kill, so he's now 1-1-2. Finishes himself the Ludens. Cho'Gath, I presume, got a one-shot of the Rakan. Don't exactly know why he's there with limited vision. But yeah, Froggen staying in mid lane, farming as much as he can. Obviously, he is known as a professional to farm. He might have, like, or he used to have, I guess, the farming record. It's well over 600 farm, might even be more than that by now. Has always been good in that department, and he does rate it very highly. Because, again, the basics, majority of your gold, where it's going to come, where your majority of your gold is going to come from in a game of League is your minion farming. 100%. Like, unless you get 20 kills, well, if you get 200, 300 farm, that's more than the average amount of kills you're going to get, which is 5 or 6. So always prioritize farming a lot. And again, it's the balance of prioritizing farming to actually being involved with your team if something is happening. It's a very fine balance, and this is where Challenger people probably do it very, very well. Anyway, they're going for a dive. She actually misses the knock-up on the Cho'Gath, but again, I don't rate AP Cho'Gath at all. He's going to be incredibly squishy in some regards. Like I said earlier, he gets beefy when it comes to health. He's not going to have resistances, so he will like die quick if you've got like tank killers or just people that chunk damage, true damage. Like Camille does true damage, so it doesn't matter. Just chunk damage, you need to beat him. And now they're doing that with the Rift Herald. Ahri waiting just if like there was a pick opportunity. Nice charm. Gonna just like bait out an Alistar ultimate instantly. So that's a free ultimate by Ahri getting that there, which is always nice. Makes an Alistar less confident about going for plays. Continuing to push the mid lane. Meanwhile, my team, or you know, I say my team, Ahri's team do pick up the Rift Herald. They are grouping a little bit. Jarvan potentially could be a target if he's not careful. Rakan ultimates early. Xayah goes for a play very like quick with the knock-up. Jarvan's trying to get away. Flashes even. I think that was a mistake using that flash. And this is where they are now grouping. They're using the Rift Herald. And they're going to try and get as much as they can in a short amount of time. So they're going for the play. Knock-up into the double knock-up. Pantheon ult comes down. Rakan picks up the kill. Redemption coming down. Does actually get kills for the enemy team. I believe that was Alistar's Redemption. Shelly does manage to get one more charge, and that is going to be it. So for all that, they die. 2 people die. 2 people in the enemy team die, but there is a tier 2 tower, so I'd probably say worth for now. Anyway, returning to mid lane once again. Varus going for the lethality, probably Q build, which is a pokish build. Which I don't know if that's the right idea this game. Well, potentially. They are relatively squishy, I guess. No one's a tank. Cho'Gath trying to chase down a Xayah. Does go for a flash play. Wow. Great. But again, you've got to say, for him getting that kill, he had to use both summoners there. He can't do anything else in the next couple minutes. Like that's his champion. So all that they have to do is when Xayah respawns, now group. Cho'Gath doesn't have any summons, doesn't have flash, and now he can't really do anything anymore. He can't do that surprise feast. So that's what I'd want to see. If they do something different, it would be interesting. Jarvan now in bot lane. Again, Jarvan top lane is a bit of a weird champion. I don't know, like, what's the story behind it. Like, is that RF legendary? Because I think he is somebody that used to play Jarvan top. And potentially, if, like, in my memory, he might be the old Anivia, Nidalee one-trick, AD Anivia one-trick person, or one of those players, and then he wanted to go pro, so he expanded his champion pool out. But from memory, he expanded his champion pool out to, like, weird champions, not meta champions. But yeah, Jarvan top, he's okay. I wouldn't take it over other stuff. Like, would I take Jarvan top over, like, Darius? No. Alright, they're doing it again. Alright, they basically just one-shot the Alistar, even though that he used his ultimate. Froggen picks up his third kill for the game, so he's now 3-1-3. And again, that's a very good score. And has he done anything crazy this game? Has he done any fancy outplays? No. He's farmed well. He's maintained okay pressure. Engage coming in here. Froggen's going to look to pick up a couple. He does ult himself in. And like I mentioned, it's the player that I was expecting. And sometimes I know, like, you know, what they should do. Even though these are challenger players, like, Cho'Gath used both of his summoners to kill Xayah. It means he's going to be basically useless moving forward in the next couple minutes. Group, force team fights, and you're just going to win them for free. That's what they did. Cho'Gath wasn't even there, and if it was, it probably wouldn't have even mattered. So they get a couple more kills. Now Froggen is 3-1-5. He has to be careful. That is actually very greedy basing in that situation. Getting a bit of return damage, but yeah, don't base in those situations. You never know, like, what's around the corner, if they've got random vision, you know, that Cho'Gath knock-up, if the Alistar was quicker, you could have flashed comboed. Don't risk it. You know, I call those, and me and my friends call those Kirby bases, because my friend Kirby did them all the time, and constantly got killed because he always did it. Alright, as for the item build, obviously it was a Luden start with boots, and now finishing the Morella Nomicon, I believe. Also still remaining with the Dark Seal. He's got 7 stacks. Don't see him selling that anytime soon, to be honest. Why would you? Because right now, what? It's giving like, what, 32 AP? That's so nearing a Blasting Wand for a lot less cost of a Blasting Wand. So, why not? They do have vision of the Varus here, so they do know Jarvan and that is in this area. They're looking potentially to bait. Rakan knows he's in there. They've got a control ward. Good knock-up. Will they get anything for it? Alistar was randomly in the area, like the Cho'Gath. But again, like I mentioned, the Cho'Gath doesn't have some, so he can't really do much more. Pantheon ult runs in, does manage to help Ahri pick up the kill. Ahri's going to probably ult for the Trundle kill. Camille's now in here, dodging the knock-up. Hasn't used ultimate yet. No, Camille's still got ultimate, so I would expect her to do that after her next E. They are waiting in the bush, randomly with the Alistar. They go all in, don't manage to get anything. They get another kill, and then one person's left, I think, in top lane. Over here, there's the Cho'Gath. So he's probably going to die too. He doesn't even pick up a final kill. And there you go. They completely aced the enemy team. Redemption coming in. That is Alistar's redemption, probably looking forward to snipe the Rakan. And that is also going to translate into a Baron. So again, relatively straightforward team fight. Looking for picks. Baiting people who have low mobility. You know, Anivia. Not Anivia. His name. Froggen. Using his mobility. Landing those charms. And getting to the backline. Now that Varus is backline, but he got to him with his ultimate, with the help of the Pantheon. That's what you want to see from an Ahri. Like, again, that's something that I would expect. He's just executed it very, very well. Don't know what Varus is doing in this situation. Like, there was no chance he could have stolen that. By the way, in that entire situation, Camille didn't even use her ultimate. Uses it there, gets another kill, and that's probably, like, honestly, if I was the enemy team, I'd probably feel quite demoralized. Your AD carry is 1-6. You've got a 1-5 top laner. They just got Baron very early on in the game. Again, is this game winnable? Maybe, sure. But you do have a bit of a weirder team comp. Like, you've got a Jarvan top, you've got a Cho'Gath mid. The likelihood of them coming back is quite low. Again, if you compare this game, if you like take the perspective of this blue team and like, what's different with that team then to the team last game that made a comeback? Well, I'd wager that, you know, the last team that we watched in Challenger Spectates, their comp was actually very good. Like, this comp, I don't think is good at all. So that's the difference. Like, they do have some type of wombo here. Varus ultimate into an Alistar combo, into a Cho'Gath combo, into a Jarvan ultimate. Sure, that's strong. But all of that is relatively low range that it has to get melee champions onto ranged champions. It's unlikely. You know, it's very unlikely. Cho'Gath, and there, again, making him less useful, has to blow his flash to escape. And again, part of AP Cho'Gath, and, you know, is using his flash to then get a feast. Well, now he doesn't even have that possibility. So they are going to start their siege. Going to go with using this Baron to maximize the gold. Pantheon even grouping now. And again, Pantheon from a bad situation is now 4-3-11, which isn't bad. Bought an early GA so we can go all in without feeling too scared. Jarvan engages, does do a flash play. Isn't probably going to help him too much. One kill's down. Let's continue. Like, Cho'Gath's in the back line, so watch what he does. He gets no knock-up. They managed to pick the jump, and they've still got the Baron buff. Charm coming in. Don't think that... Oh, they are going to get something blind. Alistair going for a combo there. They are going to save him. Pantheon coming in the back line. Watch what Froggen does. Doesn't land any damage there. He does then... Or the Zai goes for a charm. Camille goes on him. And that's another dead Cho'Gath. Obviously, he had to blow his flash to escape. And that is the game. So again, pretty basic game. So again, the reason why I did this was you have a 7-4 Cho'Gath. So a very good KD. But you saw how useful that guy was. Just wasn't useful. You could wager he wasn't useful because maybe an AP Cho'Gath is reliant on his team being useful as well. But then you've got to ask yourself the question, is that even a good solo queue champion to play if it's so, like, reliant on others? But then something to note is the Froggen, the Ahri. He went 8-1-7 in this game, which if you looked at his match history, you'd be like, damn, that was a good game. He did nothing flashy, nothing special. He didn't even, like, really engage plays that often. He was very much a team player this game who just farmed well and just got on with it. And he ended up being very useful in terms of gold. He finished quite a bit ahead of the Cho'Gath, who was actually ahead of him. So honestly, like, a very just solid performance is what you'll probably say. And again, it's a good opportunity for a lot of people to learn and kind of take in. So many people think that you need to be kind of like, you know, the TF Blades or whatever, the crazy mechanic people to climb. Froggen wasn't this game. He just played basic. That is completely fun. That's how I climbed. Like, I used to be a mechanical player, believe it or not. But even I climb nowadays with just basically doing normal stuff. Like my Unranked to Diamond series, I get Diamond every single time. We don't do anything flashy, really, in that series. You don't have to. It's a different type of player. But that's anyway going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, sorry, like on the video, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys next time.